When you arrive at the Muskegon Luge track in western Michigan, the first thing you'll notice is a calm and beauty that only exists in the winter. Clear, crisp air, punctuated by blue skies, white snow, and the dull grays, browns, and greens of skeletal hardwoods and conifer trees. Today, the silence doesn't last long, as 40 or so extreme athletes barge onto the scene, ready to plunge into one of the fastest, most thrilling sports known to man, winter luge.
We want to take the blue sled with the red coupons up. The other one we're going to use down here.
You got a chair that we're going up with?
Yeah, Thomas. We need to take that chair up. We're going to get her right here, and we're going to put her on this sled and start playing around with her right here, getting the feel for on snow. And then we've got a sled just for that for her down here, and then the other sled they'll be using up there. So we got it.
Both men and women are gathered to be part of this adaptive luge clinic put on by Tom Hernan, owner of Back to Sports, a company dedicated to teaching people with disabilities the finer aspects of outdoor recreation. Hernan was injured in a motorcycle accident many years ago. Now a paraplegic, he combines his love of the outdoors and his insight into adapting gear to help others experience the thrill of winter luge.
Bring her up higher. And
okay.
It's just the main thing is, keeping her everything together where she doesn't get too excited. Well, we're doing luge today. Adaptive luge. It's what you see in the Olympics, only a lot slower, of course. There's only 3 tracks in the United States, one in Park City, Lake Placid, and here, Muskegon, Michigan. Muskegon's the only public track where you could come out and take a Learn to Luge program and actually learn to do the sport. So we started adaptive in 2002. I learned in Park City, and then in 2006 I moved back to Grand Rapids and wanted to bring the sport back to this track with me, and this is our 5th year of doing a clinic here. So last year we had about 30 people, and this year we've got a few less, but still it's just much fun. We have a couple of cross-country sleds for people. The main thing is we're really working hard at trying to find grant funding to get a lift system put in. And the main objective is to make it so that somebody could come up here anytime and not have to wait for the clinic. We do the clinic once a year just because we have to get enough volunteers and all the logistics in place to get people to the top of the hill. Where if we had a lift system, you could come out here and do it any night you wanted to. And I come out on Tuesday nights. I couldn't this year because I broke my leg, but I came out 3 times a week last year and raced in our adult league and all that kind of stuff, and they just take you up on a snowmobile all the way around the back. So it's a long trip, and if you don't have a strong upper body, it's a pretty tough ride.
For over 100 years, luge has been one of winter's most exciting sports, becoming an Olympic event at the Games at Innsbruck, Austria in 1964. The luge track at Muskegon State Park is made more for recreation, although the gear is almost exactly the same.
Well, the only difference is what we do is we put a strap in between the coupons, which are your runners that you see, and we spread them out a little bit so your feet go inside of them instead of on the outside. And then you're steering with your shoulders and a set of reins. And the reins are mainly to pull yourself up and maneuver your upper body if you don't have a lot of abs, where steering with your shoulders is pretty much how you get it to bite. You're not making huge, it's not like you're steering a car. You're only making small direction changes left to right. So you're trying to keep it straight through like the straightaways and things along those lines. So the equipment's pretty much the same. It's like I said, we just add the reins, which they actually used to use reins, so they're still in the rule books. So there's no reason why someone in a wheelchair couldn't qualify someday to go to the regular Olympics. So there's no difference in the equipment or anything.
And that's Hernan's ultimate goal, to get an athlete with a disability on the able-bodied Olympic luge team.
We'd love to get some young kids into our junior development programs and right through the able-bodied system that we already have in place. And that's the whole idea, is not to create a whole new system for people with disabilities, but just to include them with the able-bodied people and make it so that we have the equipment and the track set up for people to get around it fine and that type of thing.
Watching the lugers speeding down the frozen chute, banging off the sides, spraying ice as they pass, begs the question, is it safe?
you know, when you see at the Olympics, they're going 95 miles an hour. We're doing about 30 here. So there's a big difference in recreational luge versus your Olympic luge. And the equipment, the nice thing about the pod sled, and that's what we're in, is a pod sled, you're kind of protected with the fiberglass around you. So if you'll bang the walls, but you won't hit them too hard. And you're enclosed in the sled, and it's like being in a bank tube. You know, and you send your money over to the bank teller. It's kind of like that, so it's kind of hard to come out of the track.
The sit skis that are used in the clinic are designed and built by Thomas Hernan III, a design engineer. The father and son team worked together to make accessible sports equipment.
Because you can't get them on edge, where this one, the whole idea is to be able to have one ski, still have enough balance, but be able to get it on edge so you can turn it.
Oh, okay.
And that's the tough part, is when you have two skis, I mean, you got to come up like Dukes of Hazzard up on two wheels type of thing. Hey, baby. Oh, yes. Well, to get around out here, you know what, that's one of the big obstacles I've always had, is getting around the luge tracks. I love being out on the snow, but just getting your wheelchair from, you know, the car to the lodge and things like that, it was really tough. So my son's an engineer, and we have a business where we design wheelchairs for on snow, basically. And you can take the wheels off, put skis on it, and go out and do what you got to do and get you around. And the really great thing about it is I can go more places in the winter than I can in the summertime. In the summer, I'm stuck to the pavement. In the wintertime, I mean, I can go anywhere there's snow. So it gives me a lot of freedom. And of course, I have my sled dog, and that makes a world of difference. He loves to pull me, and we have a fantastic time doing it. Well, I'm going to try to design a wheelchair with bicycle wheels on the front for this summer, so he can pull me around on the grass, because you can't have him running on concrete too much. But it's been really great. We train him, we take him to Home Depot, and he pulls me in my wheelchair, and he knows left from right. You say G, he turns right. You say hi, he turns left. And it's really neat that these dogs are so intelligent that, you know, they know their left from their right. I have to think about it sometimes. I'm like, okay, I threw with my left hand, so it's okay, it's ha, you know. So
On this day, there was a wide array of participants, from first-timers to those who have done this dozens of times. Brian Culvert of American Role Models is a quadriplegic.
It was cool, man. Wiped out on my first run. Last year it went down no problem, so.
Yeah.
Run number 2, man. We're gonna do better this time. Come on out. I mean, you only live once, so live strong, you know? It's great, it's a good time. But we take all the precautions we need to take to come out here, so, you know, there's nothing wrong with going out and doing extreme things like this, as long as you take the precautions and do it safely, and that's what we do.
Nicole got to do the winter luge for the first time in her life.
Yeah, she's the youngest girl and a girl, and no other girls did it today. And she had a ball.
Luge isn't Hernan's only love. When he isn't out on the track, he's back at his workshop engineering adaptive gear for other sports he enjoys.
it's called Back to Sports. Our website is back2sports.net. And we do adaptive sports equipment. I do clinics. I do winter survival clinics. I do luge clinics. I do cross-country skiing clinics. In the summer, I do kayaking. And also, we're actually going to be, me and Thor are going to be the first paraplegic to ever sail the Northwest Passage in a 26-foot sailboat. So we're going to be training for that this winter also. So it's just a matter of getting out and enjoying your life and doing the things that you want to do. And just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean you can't do these things. You just have to be smart enough to figure out how. And that's where, well, I'm lucky I have a son for an engineer, so he comes up with the how for me quite a bit and designs, stuff like this to get us around and to overcome the obstacles. And that's the thing, I got hurt. I was out motorcycle riding, I got hurt, and I don't feel it's my responsibility, or I don't feel it's other people's responsibilities to make the world accessible. I'm the one in the chair, so I think it's my responsibility to make the equipment to get me to where I want to be and, over those obstacles. And like I say, you see these guys out here luging today. I mean, they're having the time of their lives, and it's really neat that we can do this. And the support we get from the people, at the Muskegon Luge, on the board of directors here, and everybody that works at the park, and and the volunteers and all that. It's just, it's just great. They, these people just love I think they enjoy it as much as we do. So.